Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Week 2 Game of the Week matchup between the Seattle Seahawks and the LA Rams. The Seahawks coming into this one 1-0, the Rams sitting at 0-1. I'm your host, Bobby Beanbags, and I'll be rolling solo today as my co-host, Ness, is indisposed with league duties, as the Seahawks are going to be kicking this one off to the Rams to get this Week 2 Game of the Week underway. On the return is JBB Blazin. He's going to run it out to his right and runs out of bounds at the 21-yard line. A little unorthodox play there from JBB Blazin. JBB Blazin is controlling the Rams. Fellowcraft is controlling the Seahawks. So the Rams will have the ball first and 10 from the 21-yard line. And as always, this broadcast is brought to you in part by MaddenSchool.com. Use promo code DaDynasty to receive 20% off their ebooks, their unlimited package. And as the Rams pick up a nice first down there, Jared Goff connecting there for 19-yard gain. That's Lance Kendricks on the reception. But yeah, MaddenSchool.com, they have ebooks, your number one source for, playbook breakdowns, all that good stuff, schemes, all that, receive 20% off their unlimited package using promo code DaDynasty. As the toss out to Todd Gurley goes for a loss of 4, that was Brown on the carry there, right on the tackle in the backfield. Loss of 4, 2nd and 14 upcoming from the 36-yard line. As the Rams look to strike quick, they definitely want to have a better offensive outing this week, as they only put up 13 points in their 55-13 loss to San Francisco. Jared Goff definitely looking to have a better game as pressure up the middle. He is going to throw an interception there to Terrell. Great pickoff there by the defense. Seattle getting the ball there. So Jared Goff continuing his struggles through 6 interceptions last week. Comes out, second throw of the game, throws another interception, and the Seattle Seahawks have the ball at the 38, 1st and 10 upcoming. All right. Russell Wilson coming out under center. That's Thomas Rawls in the backfield. Russell Wilson staying in the pocket, hitting Jermaine Kearse on the out route in tight coverage. Great throw, great catch. Gain of 17 yards there. Picking up the first down, Jermaine Kearse went for 3 receptions, 100 yards, and a touchdown last week against the Dolphins in their 61-36 victory. Russell Wilson throwing for 183 yards, 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in that one. But the big name in that game was the NFC Player of the Week, Offensive Player of the Week, Thomas Rawls, with 17 carries, 245 yards, and 4 touchdowns. As Rawls breaking a tackle and then tries to hurdle a defender there, getting brought back down in the backfield for a loss of 6. Great play there by the defense, blowing up that run play. So now the Seahawks face a 2nd and 16 upcoming from the 27-yard line. See what they do here to try and pick up the first down. Russell Wilson snaps there. He is going to get picked off there, so a very similar event happening there for the Seahawks, picking up a first down, gain of 17, running the ball, going backwards, and then throwing interceptions shortly after. So deja vu the other way around. Rams get the ball right back from the 35-yard line. Great defense by both these teams on these opening drives. Let's see how the Rams answer here. So both quarterbacks throwing an early interception in this one. This Jared Goff under center, Todd Gurley in the backfield. He's just going to hand off to Gurley. Gurley going backwards once again. Loss of 4 there. So the run game not looking too hot for the Seattle Seahawks. Looked like he was afraid to go up the middle, try to take it outside, but that side was blown up by the defensive end, taking down Gurley in the backfield. Definitely want to see a little bit more Todd Gurley this game. Last week only carrying the ball 13 times for 35 yards and 1 touchdown. So definitely want to see more out of him here as he is going to get the ball. Nice little handoff there. Making up for the lost gain of 7 yards there. Bringing it to 3rd and 7 there for the Rams. Needing to pick up the first down here. Definitely don't want to go 3 and out after getting an interception. You want those points off turnovers. as Goff is going to come out in the shotgun here. It is going to be a screen play. Gurley on the connection, but nice spin, or excuse me, that's Brown breaking the tackle, picking up the first down. Great effort there by Brown on the screen pass, picking up the first down. So Rams, after picking up the first down, face 1st and 10. Jared Goff coming out under center. Todd Gurley in the backfield. He's going to hand off to Gurley once again. Gurley tries to go left, but stopped there in the backfield by number 90. Excuse me, not in the backfield. Gain of 2 yards there. That's Reed on the tackle there. Disengaging from the block, pulling down Gurley after a short gain. Todd Gurley receiving the handoff once again. We're seeing a lot more Todd Gurley this game than we did last game, so that's very nice to see. Picking up 7 there once again, bringing up 3rd and 1. Both these guys are veterans of the league. They know how to play the game. They know how to play sim ball. So it's going to be a very, very good matchup here. As Jared Goff comes out under center in the I-form formation. Todd Gurley in the backfield. They are just going to hand off to the fullback. Able to pick up the first down. Forward momentum will grant them the first down. Bringing up 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line. Earl Thomas on the tackle. So already we're seeing a lot more run game out of the Rams. I believe last week Jared Goff threw it about 30 times, only connecting on 17 of those throws. Alright, Goff coming out under center, Gurley in the backfield. Gonna motion to the right. Gonna throw it to the drag route there and gets tripped up by Casper. The 12th man getting him there, it looks like. We're not even in Seattle. So 2nd and 7 upcoming. I really have no idea what I just saw. Guy sees end zone all the time, I guess. Alright, Jared Goff coming out, shotgun formation. Todd Gurley in the backfield to his left, 2nd and 7. 6 seconds to snap the ball here. Little play action play. It's going to roll out to his right, and that one's going to be intercepted. That is Richard Sherman. Trying to get the ball to Tavon Austin, throwing it into triple coverage. There is Jared Goff. Uncharacteristic of JBB Blazin, trying to force that one into coverage. Thought he could have taken off and just ran for the first down there, but tries to make the big play and ends up throwing interception. So that Seattle defense proving once again they are tough. So Russell Wilson and the Seahawks take back over on the 22-yard line, 1st and 10. Russell Wilson just going to dump it off to, that's Jimmy Graham on the reception. Looks like he does manage to pick up a first down. Gain of about 10 yards there. Excuse me, 11 yards. So after the interception, the Seahawks get the ball back. Can Russell Wilson shake off the interception he threw earlier in the game? Jared Goff already throwing 2 on the first 2 drives. Alright, so we get a toss play out to the left. That's Rawls. Rawls has nothing but green grass in front of him. Nice pickup there by Thomas Rawls. Gain of about 19 on the carry. Nice gain there. Toss play to the weak side of the defense. You see a huge score there. Giants beating the Saints 45 to 14. The Chiefs beating the Texans 24-7. Rawls getting another pitch out to the left, and that's going to be fumbled there. So Thomas Rawls putting it on the ground. So turnovers are galore this game. 3 interceptions and 1 fumble thus far, and we're not even in the 2nd quarter. So after having a huge week last week, Thomas Rawls puts it on the ground, and the Rams recover that, giving Jared Goff the ball back once again here. We are going to hand off to Todd Gurley there. Todd Gurley picking up huge yards there on the first down carry. Gain of 11. right, Jared Goff coming out under center here. Looks like a strong formation here. Brown in the backfield this time. He is just going to pitch it out to Brown there, but Brown's going to get taken down before being able to get past the line of scrimmage there. Gain of 0. Great defense there by Harvey on the tackle. Bringing up 2nd and 10. So 15 seconds remaining in this first quarter. As I'd like to remind you guys of another sponsor of ours is Uncle D's Buffalo Sauce. Are you tired of flavorless wings? Put a little Uncle D's in your mouth. Alright, so as we enter the second quarter, it is tied 0-0 as we've seen 4 turnovers thus far. 2 interceptions by Jared Goff, 1 interception by Russell Wilson, and 1 fumble by Thomas Rawls. Can either of these offenses complete a drive and put up some points? Alright, Goff coming out under center. Todd Gurley in the backfield here. He is just going to hand off to Gurley. Gurley, if he's able to break a tackle, has 6, but he's unable to do so. But nice gain there of 6 yards. 3rd and 4 upcoming. A very manageable 3rd down. A lot better than 3rd and long, of course. Let's see if they try to go to the air here, if he trusts Jared Goff's arm, or if he just wants to take his chance on the ground and try to get some points here. If he's unable to pick the first down, that's Brown in the backfield this time. Goff snaps the ball. He is just going to throw it out to the left there, but great defense there by the Seahawks. That's Thomas on the coverage, not allowing Brown to come down with that one. So we will have a field goal attempt upcoming, 4th and 4 from the 30. So it's going to be about a 47-yard attempt here. See if he can bury this one, as field goals have been a... Where's that going? Well, it's going to remain 0-0 after that field goal attempt. So yes, field goal is definitely a killer in Madden 17, as the Rams treat a fan on the sideline with a souvenir, kicking that one way left. Alright, so Russell Wilson taking over after the missed field goal on the 37-yard line in the shotgun formation. It's going to be a little play-action play. He's just going to dump it off to his tight end. That's Jimmy Graham on the reception. Gain of about 9 yards there. Excuse me, 8 yards. So 2nd and 2 upcoming. So both offenses unable to put up points thus far. You see the Panthers beating out the 49ers 20-13. The Cowboys winning a close one, 31-26. That one coming down to the wire. Cowboys almost allowing the comeback as Thomas Rawls gets stopped in the backfield. Great play there by the defense, loss of 2 yards. So the Cowboys were up 2 scores going into the 2-minute warning. The Redskins getting 2 turnovers there late to put up some points. Was down 2. Gave the ball back to the Cowboys. Cowboys march down, kick a field goal, and close out that game with a nice defensive stand, but almost allowing the comeback there. We see Prosy in the backfield. He is going to motion to his left there. There's Russell Wilson in the shotgun formation. He's going to try the deep ball. That's Baldwin on the reception. Great play there by the Seattle Seahawks, finding the holes in the zone, hitting Doug Baldwin for a nice pickup there. Doug Baldwin last week had 3 receptions for 52 yards. Was unable to get in the end zone, but had some critical catches for first downs in last week's game against the Dolphins. So after throwing that interception, after fumbling it, these Seattle Seahawks are scrambling to find a way to move the ball and protect the ball. As we've seen so many turnovers this game, we do hand it off to Thomas Rawls here, but Thomas Rawls runs right into the defender there. Nice stop in the backfield, loss of 1 there on the carry. That's Barron on the tackle. 2nd and 11 upcoming from the 39-yard line. 5 minutes 15 seconds now remaining in this first half. As Russell Wilson comes out under center, Thomas Rawls in the backfield. He is just going to hand it off to Thomas Rawls once again. But great run defense here by the LA Rams. Not allowing Thomas Rawls to do what he did last week, and stopping the NFC Offensive Player of the Week from doing much at all. 3rd and 10 upcoming. Big time 3rd down here. The Rams need a stop. Seahawks want to get a 1st down. Somebody has to put points up. So Russell Wilson coming out in the shotgun formation. He is going to throw it to the corner out there, but unable to haul it in is Doug Baldwin. Great defense there, hitting the receiver as he tries to make the reception, forcing the incompletion, as we might see a 55-yard field goal attempt here. Actually looks like the offense might stay out on the field here. 4th and 10 upcoming. Seahawks need to put points on the board at the 38-yard line, so it's a pretty safe area to go for it on 4th down. However, you definitely want to get this 1st down. So this is going to be Seahawks 1 4th down attempt. As in Dynasty, you only get 1 attempt until the 4th quarter. In the 4th quarter, it's all bets off. You can go for it on 4th down as you see fit. Russell Wilson going to throw it over the middle there, and Jimmy Graham unable to haul that one in. So it is going to be a turnover on downs. Rams getting the ball right back. So both these offenses are really struggling here today. Either that or the defenses have really stepped up. Either way, no points have been scored as we are winding down this 1st half. Alright, Jared Goff coming out under center. That's Todd Gurley in the backfield. Jared Goff drops back. He is going to go deep there. So not caught there by number 85. That is Sammy Coates. Unable to haul that one in. Great defense there. As the 4 vertical attempt is spoiled by the man coverage. 2nd and 10 upcoming. Jared Goff coming out in the shotgun formation. That's Todd Gurley to his left. 2nd and 10 from the 38-yard line. He's going to throw it there to the post route, but unable to haul that one in. Believe that is Lance Kendricks on the attempt. So 4 verticals the other way. Spoiled once again by the man coverage. So it looks like man defense is really working for the Seahawks. The Rams don't have an answer for it. They are just simply outmatched cornerbacks versus wide receiver wise. There's a little play action play here. He is just going to go underneath there. That is going to be caught. However, that is going to bring up 4th down. 4th and 3. That was Kenny Britt on the reception there. Gain of 7. 4th and 3 upcoming. Do they go for it or do they kick it? I personally would want to kick this one here, but they are going to keep the offense out on the field. Your defense has been playing so well. I would kick this one off and try to pin them deep and give yourself even better field position the next time out. But we're all our own coach here, so we're going to make our own decisions. So Jared Goff coming out under center here. Strong formation. Brown in the backfield. Now we're going to move it to a weak formation as we call a timeout. So Rams not seeing what they wanted in the defense. Let's see if they decide to punt here or keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th and 3. If you use your 4th down attempt, you want to be sure to put points on the board. So if they get this, you have to think that this drive is points or bust. So Jared Goff coming out in the shotgun formation this time. Todd Gurley in the backfield. I see a run play if he wants it, but he doesn't take it. He's got blitz from the other side, but great slant route there. That's Sammy Coates on the reception. Great play there by the Rams, picking up the 1st down, connecting with it's like a hybrid drag route there by Sammy Coates. Great 1st down pickup here. So now you want to make sure you get points here, no matter what, whether it be a field goal or a touchdown. You use your 4th down attempt, so you have to get something out of it. As Todd Gurley is going to get stopped in the backfield for 0 yards. So 2nd and 10 upcoming. 3 minutes and counting remaining in this 1st half. Still nothing ball game. Jared Goff last week throwing the ball for 152 yards and 6 interceptions, no touchdowns to the name as he hits the post route. That is Tavon Austin on the reception. Great play there by the Rams. Can they finish this drive? They need to protect the ball here. No turnovers. The coach has to be preaching, hold on to the football. Goff comes out in the shotgun formation. Gurley in the backfield. He is going to hand off to Gurley. Gurley, nice gain there of about 7 yards as we hit the 2-minute warning. 8-yard gain, excuse me. So Rams are threatening here at the 9-yard line. Can they finally put points on the board, or will the Seattle defense come up huge once again? All right, 2nd and 2 from the 9, 2-minute warning. 14 seconds left on the play clock. Looks like Jared Goff is going to be coming out under center in a strong formation here. Brown in the backfield. He is going to hand off to Brown on a counter play, but great play there by the defense, reading the run, stopping it in the backfield for a loss of 1. 3rd and 3 now, as we have a timeout by the Seahawks, stopping the clock. They definitely want the ball back to try to put points on the board themselves before the end of the first half. But you want to be careful not to turn it over if you get the ball back, and give the Rams a chance to put points on the board once again before the end of the first half. So a lot of thinking going in there whenever you call those timeouts. Jared Goff coming out in the empty backfield. He is going to dump it out. Kind of a bad throw there, but he is able to pick up the first down. Gain of 4 yards there. 1st and goal from the 6. Was a low throw from Jared Goff. So as the Rams, you kind of want to eat up as much of this clock as you possibly can. You don't want to give the Seahawks a chance to score before half, as they do get the ball coming out in the second half. Nice gain of 1 there by Todd Gurley. Jared Goff coming out under center here. Todd Gurley in the I-4 formation in the backfield. Looks like we have a heavy set formation. 3 tight ends out there. They're just going to hand the ball off. That's Todd Gurley on the carry, bringing it all the way down to the 2-yard line. So we're going to have 3rd and goal from the 2 with a minute remaining as the Rams go to a hurry-up offense. I'm not sure if I agree with this call. I'd want to kill more of that clock. We're going to hand off once again, but huge play there by the defense. So the Seahawks are going to call a timeout. I personally, if I was the Rams, would have wanted to kill a little bit more of that clock before having to go for it on 3rd down and then potentially score a touchdown, or now you're going to have to make a field goal attempt, as we saw him shank one left on the other one, and this time he misses to the right. So the field goal kicker in St. Louis might be on the trading block after this one, as he's missed 2 field goals, one from 20 out, and then the other one from 47 out as he kicked it to the left pylon. So Russell Wilson getting the ball back. It's still a 0-0 game, as he is going to get brought down with a sack. That's Robert Quinn on the sack. Nice play there by the defense. The Rams are going to take a timeout here. I guess they want the ball back once again. So in a game that could easily be 6-0 is 0-0 on 2 missed field goals by the Rams. You see the score of the Jets-Bills. Jets beating the Bills 25-19. I believe that one went into overtime. Jets pulling out a thriller there. Russell Wilson under center. Thomas Rawls in the backfield here. Safe formation. That one was thrown into double coverage. Unable to haul that one in. So 3rd and 16 upcoming. 36 seconds remaining in this second quarter. What do the Seahawks do? I personally believe you run the ball, force the Rams to call their last timeout, punt it off to them, and just trust your defense. You don't want to give the Rams the ball back with a timeout left with the potential to attempt another field goal. You also don't want to potentially throw an interception here, which that was almost intercepted. Doug Baldwin unable to haul that one in. So the Rams will be getting the ball back here with 1 timeout remaining and 31 seconds remaining. So this one is not a very good punt. We are going to see a return here out of Tavon Austin. So now the Rams have 23 seconds left. They have one timeout with the potential to put up some points on the board before we go into the halftime. As I said, I believe the Seahawks should have just ran the ball, ran the clock out after not connecting on first down. But like I said earlier, everyone is their own coach and they make their own decisions, and you live and die by those choices. So Jared Goff coming out in shotgun formation. That's Farmer this time in the backfield. He's going to go to the corner route there. That one is going to be hauled in there. So the Rams are going to move to a hurry-up offense, 15 seconds and counting. They still holding on to their timeout here. Going to snap the ball here. He is just going to hand it off to Farmer. Farmer unable to do anything with it. So 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2... So the Rams are going to call a timeout. They're going to attempt another field goal here. So far, 0 for 2 on field goals. Can they finally bury one? So this one looks to be a 37-yarder as the Seahawks call a timeout. So icing the kicker before the end of the first half. So this one's going to be missed as well. So the kicker is 0 for 3 on field goals, missing this one wide right. He's missed 2 wide right, 1 wide left. As this one is going to be 0-0 at the end of the half, going into the third quarter. And it looks like the Seahawks will be getting the ball back, or getting the ball to start the second half. So far a defensive battle. We've seen plenty of turnovers. We've seen missed field goals. We've seen missed fourth down conversions. We've seen it just about all this game other than points. As this one's going to go out, he's going to get chased out of bounds at the 16. So a net loss of 9 yards on that one if he would have just kneeled it there and the ball would have came out to the 25-yard line. However, on the return, only being able to get it to the 16 is the Seattle Seahawks. Let's see what kind of game plan they come out with after halftime as Russell Wilson comes out in an empty backfield. This is going to get a lot of pressure. That's Robert Quinn. Robert Quinn is having himself a game here with 1 sack and 1 QB hurry, putting a lot of pressure on Russell Wilson, forcing him to throw it in the ground, the dirt there. So 2nd and 10 upcoming for the Seahawks. It's crazy to see the Seattle Seahawks that put up 61 points last week have a goose egg going into the third quarter. The Rams defense has definitely answered the calls thus far. As Thomas Rawls comes out, run to the left, nice little gain there. He has 7 carries for 14 yards. So a night and day performance from Rawls last week, having a huge week and thus far averaging 2 yards a carry here today. So 3rd and 4 upcoming. Rams definitely want to put points up coming out in their first drive of the second half. The Seahawks wanting to put up points on their first drive of the second half. The Rams have shown they can threaten. We have a flag on the play there. That was a 15-yard face mask, so first down no matter what. 1st and 10 from the 42-yard line now. You know, the Rams have been threatening. The Seahawks really haven't done too much as far as driving the ball. They have been very unsuccessful on the ground and very mediocre pass game. The Rams have had more success moving the ball, and they've had better chances to score. But fortunately for the Seahawks, the kicker from the longest yard is back there taking field goal attempts, giving out souvenirs to the cameramen and the fans on the sidelines, on the field level suites. As Russell Wilson rolls out to his left here, he's got a lot of pressure there. That's going to be fumbled there. So that is Robert Quinn on the fumble recovery there. So this defensive front of the LA Rams is getting after Russell Wilson. Robert Quinn having himself a game, fumble recovery, a sack, a QB hurry. So again, once again, the Rams defense showing up today here. as Todd Gurley carries that one for a gain of 1. He has 12 carries for 41 yards. Happy to see that we're seeing a little bit more of him this game. Want to continue seeing it. I believe he can carry this offense. Jared Goff, being the rookie that he is, he's not going to be able to complete every pass he throws. So you definitely need to lean on Todd Gurley here, as Todd Gurley's going to get it once again. Bouncing off tackles, bouncing off linemen for a gain of 3. So 3rd and 6 upcoming. The Rams have already used their 4th down attempts, so if 4th down up comes, they'll have a decision if they punt the ball or kick a field goal. Does he have faith in his kicking game? As Brown comes out in the backfield, Jared Goff under center. He's going to play action play here. He's just going to go underneath, but unable to connect with Sammy Coates. There is Jared Goff throwing it at his feet. So 4th and 6 upcoming. We have another field goal attempt. So far 0-3 on the day. Can we finally see some points here? So this one's shanked to the left. If JB Blazin doesn't fire his kicker, I'm going to do it for him. He is 0 for 4 on the day, missing field goals like it's his day job as the Seahawks get the ball back. This could very easily be a 12-0 game, but unable to make field goals is the Rams kicker. So those Madden 17 field goal kick meter is getting the best of JB Blazin, as this one is still 0-0. Russell Wilson coming out under center. Thomas Rawls in the backfield. You're going to see a hand off Thomas Rawls. Thomas Rawls has a lane. He has nothing but green grass in front of him. If he can break a tackle here, we could see 6. So the biggest play of the day happens there on a Thomas Rawls carry. The explosive athlete that he is. Gain of 41, making up for his poor performance so far. Bringing the Seahawks into their best field position all day, down to the 25-yard line. Russell Wilson coming out under center here. He's going to run the play action waggle play. This is designed to go to circle, but it's not there. He's going to try to dump it off, but great play there by the defensive front of the Rams. Again, getting after Russell Wilson anytime he drops back to pass. He's always got pressure on him. So 2nd and 10 upcoming. Let's see if these Rams can make a huge play once again. Or will the Seahawks finally put some points on the board, as that's Christian Michael in the backfield this time on the counter run. But unable to do anything with it, as that Rams defensive front stops them for just a gain of 2. So 3rd and 8 upcoming from the 23-yard line. Seahawks threatening here. It's Prosy in the backfield there with Russell Wilson. So we are going to see a screenplay. It is going to get off there, and he is going to break around the tackle, and he looks like he's going to get in for 6. So finally, we see some points there on the screen pass. Great play there by the Seahawks. Great call by fellow Kraft. Finally, some points on the board. Definitely, you have to be shaking your head if you're the Rams, as this one could be a 12-7 game very easily. But the Seahawks lead this one 7-0 with 4 minutes 35 seconds remaining in this 3rd quarter. But you have to be confident in your offense. You've been moving the ball pretty well against the Seahawks, just unable to punch it in the end zone. You put yourself in position to kick field goals. You just haven't been able to bury them. So JB Blazin should still feel confident that he can march down and put points on the board. It's just, can he execute whenever he gets down in the red zone? So Jared Goff and the Rams take over at the 32-yard line. 1st and 10 upcoming. Jared Goff coming out under center. Todd Gurley in the backfield here. This strong, or it looks like a weak formation, as the tight end is to the left, fullback to the right. He's going to motion it over to a strong formation. Fullback going to the left. He is going to hand off to Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley running into the back of the fullback, unable to hit that hole as fast as he might have wanted. So 2nd and 8 upcoming after a run of 2 yards there. right, so Jared Goff coming out. It looks like a shotgun, tight formation. Play action play. He's got pressure to his left and being brought down in the backfield. Nice blitz there by the Seahawks. That's Averill on the sack. Bringing up 3rd and 16. Loss of 8 there on the play. So if you're these 0-1 Rams, a team that lost 55-13 last week, you have to take some positives from this. You've seen your defense play very well against this high-powered offense. You just saw Sammy Coates. I thought Sammy Coates came down on that one, so we actually see an interception by Lane. Jared Goff throwing his 3rd interception of the day, bringing his total to 9 on the year. But you do have to take some positives from this. Apart from field goal kicking, you've been able to move the ball against the Seattle Seahawks defense. Your defense has shown up against Thomas Rawls other than one huge run, and that play right there to Jermaine Curtis. I'm just going to stop talking about how the Rams should take positives because everything seems to be falling apart here in the 3rd quarter as the Seahawks are moving willingly now. Russell Wilson coming out in the shotgun, just going to dump it off to Jimmy Graham there. Jimmy Graham breaking a tackle, picking up a gain of 8 on the reception. So 2nd and 2 upcoming from the 24-yard line. Scores 7-0 Seattle. Seattle has the ball with 2 minutes and 43 seconds remaining in this 3rd quarter. Very low scoring game. Very defensive minded battle here. Russell Wilson coming out of the shotgun formation. That's Rawls in the backfield to his left. So we're going to see another screen play. That's going to be fumbled there. So the Rams making a huge stop on defense. You know, that has to be something positive the Rams take away from this. A team that gave up 55 points last week has come in here and essentially shut down the Seattle offense that put up 61 last week themselves. So you definitely have to be feeling a lot better about your defense as Todd Gurley carries this one for a gain of 3 yards. He has 49 yards on the day on 15 attempts. You're forcing turnovers. You're making stops on defense, 4th down stops. You know, you've contained Thomas Rawls outside of one huge run. So you definitely have to be feeling good if you're JB Blazing about the defense. He needs to work on Jared Goff and figuring out what to do, and he needs to work on field goal kicking. As Jared Goff snaps, so he does have a nice blitz on the edge there. That is Williams on the sack. Bring up 3rd and 14, loss of 7 there. So the DB strike getting to JB Blazing here. Jared Goff coming out in the pistol formation. That's Brown this time in the backfield. Snaps the ball here. He's got to get rid of it. He's being sacked once again. So back-to-back sacks is going to bring up 4th down. 4th and 23 upcoming. Loss of 9 there. The Rams will have to punt this one away as they have already used their 1 4th down attempt before the 4th quarter. This was going to be nice kick deep left. Lockett is going to have a chance to return this one. He gets past one defender and then gets brought down at the 28-yard line. Nice return there by Lockett and the Seahawks. So have a little pause in the action here. So the Seahawks lead this one 7-0. You've seen great defense by both teams. You've seen missed field goals. You've seen turnovers. And you've seen huge plays out of Thomas Rawls. Let's see what happens here to close this one out. As Thomas Rawls is not going to really go anywhere. As this run defense has really stepped up today. You know, you take away one big run and Thomas Rawls is looking like a practice squad running back. But he does have that one huge run, and that's exactly why he was last week's NFC Offensive Player of the Week. So Russell Wilson coming out in the shotgun formation, split formation here. He's going to play action to Thomas Rawls. He's going to get brought down in the backfield. So once again, as stated earlier, this defensive front of the Rams is for real. Getting after Russell Wilson, forcing bad throws, getting sacks, forcing fumbles. You know, it's exactly what JBB Blazin wants out of that defensive front. You know, not letting the Seahawks really expose that secondary too much. Getting a, he does have a few players in the secondary, but it's definitely not one that you call home about. So, great defense there by the Rams. 3rd and 16 upcoming after a nice sack by the defense. As we head into this fourth quarter, the Seattle Seahawks lead this one 7-0. As we come out here to start this one, as Prosy in the backfield, Jimmy Graham back to the right. Russell Wilson shotgun formation. He has 7 seconds to snap the ball here. He gets it off. Play action play. He's got his man wide open. However, that is going to be dropped by Jermaine Kearse. Russell Wilson kind of overthrowing that one a little bit, throwing it a little too deep for Jermaine Kearse, not really giving him a chance to catch that one. As it brings up 4th and 16. So Rams are going to get the ball back here. This is definitely go time if it ever was. As we enter the fourth quarter, you have to get some sort of points out of this drive. You've left 12 points out there on the field. You know, you have to be very disappointed in that aspect. Tavon Austin, whoa. So Tavon Austin weighs about 115 pounds, soaking wet. Just throws the defender like he's a sack of potatoes, and then gets dropped down at the 31-yard line after a nice little return there. So 1st and 10 upcoming, 7 minutes, 45 seconds remaining. Rams have the ball here. Definitely a must-score drive. As Goff is in the shotgun formation. Gurley back to the right. He snaps the ball. He's got a little pressure there. A little high throw for Gurley, but Gurley brings it in, breaks the tackle. Huge play there by the Rams. Nice start to this drive. Definitely something you wanted to see there. So gain of 16. Bring up 1st and 10. Bring the ball all the way down to the 47. Jared Goff comes out the shotgun once again. This time Gurley out to his left. He's going to go to the drag route there. That's Kendricks on the reception. Going to get knocked out of bounds there, but another 1st down. So Jared Goff moving this offense very well. Gain of 14 that time. So this time Goff coming out under center. Todd Gurley in the backfield with him. He's going to go deep there. That was Sammy Coates, I believe, on the reception attempt, but unable to haul that one in. So we definitely see what the Seattle Seahawks like to do. They like to do a lot of man blitzing. You know, can the Rams find an answer for that? So we hand it off there to Todd Gurley. He had a hole there, but it was filled very quickly by Earl Thomas. Gain of just 2, so 3rd and 8 upcoming. Huge 3rd down. You definitely want to put points on the board here. So let's see what kind of play calling we get out of JBB Blazin. This, I mean, if you've seen, I don't know what the range of the kicker is, but this is definitely out of it. So you definitely want to convert here, and he's definitely out of field goal range as he's going to get dropped back. That is White on the sack, loss of 9. Looks like the Rams are just going to punt it. They have all 3 timeouts remaining. They have 6 minutes. So, you know, you can punt here. You can afford to punt, but you definitely wanted to score here on this drive. That's a nice looking punt there by JB Blazin, bringing it all the way down to the 18-yard line as the Seahawks will take over in this 7-0 ball game. So the Seahawks really haven't been able to do too much outside of one drive on offense. The Rams defense has had them pretty much in check. You know, you have to give kudos to Jeff Fisher and that defense. However, the offense needs to kind of do its part and start putting some points on the board, and we might see some W's come out of these Rams. Thomas Rawls, that's a fumble there, so forcing the fumble, and the defense does it on their own. That's Robert Quinn, who has had himself a ball game. Getting the fumble recovery, that's the second fumble recovery, and this time marching it in for 6. So huge play there by the defense. This Rams defense is definitely carrying this team. You know, so now this is critical. We've seen him miss 4 field goals thus far. You know, you definitely have to make this one to tie the game. Let's see if he can get it done here, or am I going to have to go fire this kicker? This time he does bury it. He takes the easy way, just pooches it through the upright. So this one's going to be tied 7-7 after a fumble by Thomas Rawls, the second fumble of the game. This time getting marched in the end zone by Robert Quinn for a touchdown. If he is not up for consideration of Defensive Player of the Week, I'm going to have to call somebody. This one's going to get kicked out of bounds. Error by the kicker. So the kicker is definitely going to be released after this one. I'm going to go release him. He's missed 4 field goals. Just kicked one out of bounds on kickoff, giving the Seahawks good field position to start at the 40-yard line. Alright, so Russell Wilson coming out under center. Thomas Rawls in the backfield. He's gonna go. That's Baldwin wide open over the middle there. So nice play call there by Fellowcraft. So this is reminding me much of the Cowboys-Giants game that we saw on Sunday in the NFL, where the Cowboys were really the ones driving the ball, controlling the clock, you know, the ones moving the ball. However, they made their field goals. The Rams being the ones driving the ball, moving the ball, and missing their field goals. And the Seahawks really just capitalizing on big plays, miscues on defense, on select drives. And, you know, that's what has them on the board. Is there one big drive, there one big run by Thomas Rawls. So Russell Wilson under center, Thomas Rawls in the backfield this time. 5 seconds to snap the ball. He's going to hand off to Thomas Rawls. Thomas Rawls running in the back of his lineman, getting dropped in the backfield. Loss of 3. So 2nd and 13 upcoming from the 39-yard line. 4 minutes, 28 seconds remaining in this game. Seahawks want to at least get a field goal out of this drive, as they need to capitalize on the error of the kicker who just kicked it out of bounds. He's going to hand off to Thomas Rawls once again. So this defensive front of the Rams, they are legit, as Brockers brings down Thomas Rawls. This is a team that ran the ball for 245 yards against the Dolphins, 4 touchdowns on the ground. And today, they really haven't been able to do much outside of the 44-yard run. So 3rd and 11 upcoming. You definitely want to convert here. Give yourself a chance to kick a field goal, take the lead, and just trust your defense. Russell Wilson coming out in the shotgun formation. He is going to throw an interception, though. Great play there by the defense. This defense is carrying this Rams team so hard as E.J. Gaines gets the interception. Jared Goff needs to do his part here and give this team a chance to put points on the board. So 3 minutes, 43 seconds remaining. You definitely want to eat up as much of this clock as possible and still put points on the board. You don't want to shy away from the run game. You don't want to shy away from Todd Gurley. However, you do need to put points on the board, so you need to be marching as well as eating up the clock. As we see a pitch play, that is Brown on the carry as he gets a little gain of about 4 yards. 2nd and 6 upcoming. So it's nice to see that the Rams are running the ball a little bit more this game. As Todd Gurley gets the carry there, dropped after just a gain of 1. So 3rd and 5 upcoming. This is a huge third down attempt. If you face 4th down, you have to ask yourself, do you go for it, or do you kick the ball and give the Seahawks a chance to win the game? So we have motion to the right, Brown in the backfield. He snaps the ball. He is just going to dump it out there. He had the drag route open underneath, but decides to go to the fullback there, as I believe he pre-read that one to the fullback, as 4th and 5 is upcoming. So Rams have a decision to make. Do they go for it and give themselves a chance to win, or do they punt the ball off and trust their magnificent defense to make a play for them? And I believe he's making the right choice here, as there is 2 minutes 36 seconds remaining. You have all 3 timeouts. Your defense has been doing work, so you have to trust in them. As Hecker is going to punt this one. It's going to be a short one. And Lockett deciding not to call for a fair catch there. Could have fumbled that one, but thankfully for the Seahawks, he holds on to it. Gets dropped down at the 33-yard line after a gain of 1 on the punt return. So the Seahawks have a chance here to march down and put some points on the board. We've seen their big play ability. We've seen what Thomas Rawls can do if he gets in the open field. But this Rams defense has also shown us how dominant they can be in really all aspects of the game. Russell Wilson going underneath there to Jimmy Graham, but Jimmy Graham not really able to do much with it after the reception, gain of just 2. You have about 17 seconds remaining until the 2-minute warning. This one looks to be coming down to the wire. Alright, as we hit the 2-minute warning, I'd like to remind everybody that Week 3 game of the week between the Steelers and the Eagles should be live Thursday night. So be on the lookout for that. Follow us on Twitter at DaDynasty CFM. Be on the lookout for the link of the Week 3 game of the week between those 2 high-powered teams, 2 great users in the league, 2 veterans of the league. Just going to be a shootout there in Philly. Should be a fantastic game to watch. So be sure to tune into that one on Thursday night. All right, so Russell Wilson coming out the shotgun. He is going to throw it underneath to Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham unable to pick up the first down, but does make it a more manageable 3rd and 2 for the offense. So we have 1:50 remaining. Clock is ticking. Do the Rams use their timeouts now, or do they trust that they can stop the passing attack of Russell Wilson? You definitely want to put pressure on the quarterback. I believe the Rams should blitz here. That is my personal opinion. You've been able to put pressure on Russell Wilson. You've been able to force bad throws. You've been able to get sacks. So you definitely want to see how he has pressure to his left, but he has a man wide open. That's Curse. Huge play there by the Seahawks. So now the Rams have to start calling timeouts here. As the Seahawks are now in field goal range. So huge play there by Jermaine Kearse. It's exactly what the Seahawks offense has done. Big plays. Has put points on the board for them. You've seen the big run by Thomas Rawls, and now you've seen that huge play by Jermaine Kearse. So he's just getting off Thomas Rawls, but Thomas Rawls is unable to go anywhere as this run defense has been barely stout. Alright, so timeout by the Rams, 1:19 remaining. Rams threatening to score here. They are on the cusp of field goal range here. Probably want to get about 5 more yards to be safe, as Thomas Rawls is unable to go anywhere once again. So again, this Rams defense, if you take away that 44-yard run, Thomas Rawls has 4 yards on the ground and like 12 carries, 13 carries. So you definitely have to give credit to this Rams run defense, as they have done everything right. You can't discredit this defense. You have to be feeling confident in that defense if you're JB Blazin. You definitely have work to do in the kicking game. You have work to do with Jared Goff, but defensively you have to feel good about yourself, because this is not a weak offense at all. We get a handoff to Prosy that time. Prosy bringing it all the way down. So the Rams are going to attempt a 41-yarder here. You have a minute remaining. He's obviously going to let the clock run as far down as he can before he kicks this one. So the score should be, ensuing a kick. So he's actually going to kick it. So he's actually not going to run the clock out, but he does make the field goal. So the Seahawks take a 10-7 lead, but he gives the Rams 49 seconds to march down the field. Let's see if that comes back to bite him, as, he shanks a kick here. So giving the Rams a chance to return it. And if he breaks a tackle there, that could be a huge return. So the ball comes all the way down to the 28-yard line. The Rams have 46 seconds. He definitely could have killed the clock, given the Rams 20 seconds, 19 seconds. of offense, but now he has 46 seconds to try and get in field goal position, to try and put a touchdown on the board. Let's see if Jared Goff can make magic happen. So he goes to the corner out there, going down, not getting out of bounds is Lance Kendrick, so you have to go to the hurry up here. 36, 35, 34 remaining. Jared Goff in the shotgun. That's Todd Gurley in the back to his right. He snaps the ball here. He is going to get, thankfully, Jared Goff able to let go of that one, as a sack would have been very, very bad, obviously, for this offense. So 28 seconds remaining. Ball's down at the 44. 2nd and 10 for the Rams. You need probably, you probably want about 40 more yards to give your kicker a decent shot. That's definitely about the crucial, as he has Sammy Coates, and Sammy Coates comes down with that huge play by Sammy Coates. So 20 seconds, 19 seconds remaining. Rams are moving. They have a shot here. 16, 15, 13. Play action play. He throws that one deep. That's going to be interception. So an error by Jared Goff cost the Rams the game. They had a chance. They had a shot. All they needed to do was complete one more pass, spike the ball, get out of bounds, something. But the Seahawks defense picking off Jared Goff right down in the red zone. Wow. What a game. So the Rams definitely need to be sitting down with their kicker. This is a game they could have easily have won, as we go into victory formation for the Seattle Seahawks. So what a game here. Week 2 game of the week, coming all the way down to the wire. It looked like the Rams were going to have a chance to at least tie this one, but then Jared Goff throws the late interception, continuing his woes throwing the ball, throwing 6 last week, throwing 4 this week, bringing his total to 10 interceptions on the season, and we're only in week 2. All right, so I've been your host, Bobby Beanbags. This has been your game of the week between the Seahawks and the Rams. The Seahawks win this one 10-7. Fellow Craft beating out JB Blaze in a very low-scoring matchup. So, great game here tonight. Be on the lookout for week 3 game of the week, Thursday night, between the Eagles and the Steelers. I've been your host, Bobby Beanbags, and I am out.